So I was down at the beach the other day, and I was paddling out on my longboard. This was about a couple years ago. I was at a place called C Street in Ventura, California. And I was having a bad day. There's a lot of people out in the water. I was falling down a lot. I was just getting totally frustrated. So I said, you know what, I'm done. And as I was getting out of the water, I stepped on a piece of rusted steel, and I cut my foot open. And so then I got out of the water. I'm like, a bad day gone worse. I look, my foot's bleeding. I'm trying to hop up the sand, holding this longboard. I get up to the sidewalk, and I look around thinking if there's someone there who could help me, stop the bleeding. And there's a bunch of tourists walking around, other surfers, but nobody who probably had Band-Aids except for this one guy. He was sitting on a picnic table, had a bunch of bags next to him, had an old bicycle. I think actually his sleeping bag was even laid out on the picnic table that he had slept through that night. And so I walked up to him. I said, hey, I cut my foot open. Do you have any Band-Aids? And he looked at me and goes, oh, yeah. So he rifled through all of his stuff, and he pulled out this little plastic bag with only 3 Band-Aids in it. And he bandaged me up. This cool guy had a Jamaican accent, and as he was caring for me, I just had this revelation. Wow, this is a reverse. I'm so used to helping other people. I'm so used to helping people who are homeless or doing people on the street who they might need something. But here's a guy who's helping me. He's the only guy who had what I needed. And I realized that God was teaching me about humility that day. See, humility is simply this: knowing that you need help, asking for help, and then receiving the help that was offered, and then telling other people. God wants us to see others for who they are. We can't judge people for what they're wearing or what they look like, because that person may be the person who's going to help you when you're in a tough situation. I invite you in all that you're doing to live a life in which you're seeing others for who they are and receiving help and giving help. Jesus said this in John chapter 10. He said he was the good shepherd, and he is going to tend the flock. And then he told all those who are going to follow him to do the same thing, tend to one another. Humility is being able to do that, serving others and being served yourself. So over this next year, I invite you to practice humility. Oh!